Commit to the bit.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. This is how I'm going to start every show from now on. Hello, welcome to this lovely pre-taped bit. In the U.S., it is Labor Day, and so we are off because that is the one day of the year where we all acknowledge that work is hard. We did it! Yay, capitalism. So we have got here Ed, still in the most amazing shirt I've ever seen.
Yeah. Anybody?
I wore it all weekend, baby. It's so stinky, baby.
We've got Billy.
You paid money for a shirt that has money on it?
Yeah, it's meta.
Ed, okay.
And there's a whole story behind it. Watch the show that we just did 15 minutes ago that will air 3 days before this. We've got Billy.
Yeah, I'm out of the country at this point, so you guys, hopefully America's still standing by Monday. Yeah.
No guarantee.
I'm going to France.
For 3 days?
For a week.
Oh.
No, just my Labor Day France getaway, you know.
Is that why you're not coming to my birthday party?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I'm going to France, whatever, Billy. And we've got Dan.
Hello. I've also been wearing the same clothes all weekend.
Yes.
It's Labor Day. I'm not working.
That ain't working.
No, I slept
That's
in this.
the way you do it.
This is just what I wear from now on. I am now a Simpsons character. I don't change clothes. I just wear the same thing every day. All right, so we have got a couple of stories here we're really excited about. We have got some questions from fans. The first one we're going to talk about is Gracie Paw asks, what other Star Wars characters should get a Disney Plus series? So other than the obvious, maybe Lando, I would go for, and I know I'm a hypocrite because I literally just said I don't want to see anyone from Solo and anything else. I want to see a series about Val.
Yeah.
I want to see Val from Solo. I want to get an idea of like who that character was. I felt like she was kind of a waste. And when you got Tandy Newton, come on. You got to use that Tandy.
Yeah, I loved Solo. I think I was the one that went and saw it. I was that guy. I love Solo. I love Beckett. I loved his crew. I definitely think that, look, I love that movie, but I also recognize some of its shortcomings. And they were trying to hit you real hard at the beginning that he loses his initial crew with Rio and Val. But it felt a little unearned at that point because then it's like, oh, we have to pull us up by our bootstraps of like, I just met you, man. Like, you know, but you could tell like Tandy Newton was acting her ass off. She was invested. She was in it. And I think Disney Plus and a lot of what they're doing, like those are the kinds of characters where it's like you can sink your teeth into because you know they had a whole history of heists together for years, you know?
Because that's something that could be interesting to me. Anyone else have any Star Wars ideas? Dan? Just say the thing, Dan.
We've plumbed the depths. I'm thinking, what would make me go like, The Mandalorian looks cool. I'm excited about The Mandalorian because it's somebody new that I've never seen before. And partially, I'm sure they'll fold in some other stuff, but that's going to be fun. So yeah, it's weird for me to think about like, what character have they not plumbed the depths of and just like, I don't know, I know more than I ever need to know about Boba Fett. I need to know nothing else about Boba Fett. Mace Windu, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Sam Jackson, like Height of the Republic Mace Windu show. But that's mainly because I love
D-H.
mainly because I love Samuel L. Jackson.
But you know what's cool?
Oh, make his 75-year-old ass run around in the road.
You know what's cool about Mace Windu is his like fighting style is like the one that like skirts the edge of being on the dark side. Like you have to be a master of masters to like fight with aggression but not be aggressive. Like I think that could be a cool series, like how this guy is able to like toe the line ever so slightly of just being able to be a master but not be dark.
Hey,
Or Darth Maul him and give him a robot arm.
Well, dude, that's what I was saying. Yeah. After he survives that super fall, he does some force jazz at the very last minute, like a super force push at the last, and then he slams and he breaks his spine or something, and he has to go get a bunch of like ironically robot parts and stuff, and have his Jedi stuff doesn't work quite as good because he used so much of his aggression, and now he doesn't have any because he's broken. And it's about it's an old man Mace, baby, and he's getting this stuff back over the course of the series to where at the end he's like, and he's doing something, and he's like doing it so far on the outer rim that he helped somebody out there, but nobody really knows those adventures, and it's kind of a tragedy at the end that people don't know all the good he did while the rest of the Republic was falling down and while he was in hiding.
Well, and that's good casting. I mean, if you get Samuel L. Jackson, people will watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Someone people care about.
He's got those roadie legs.
the braces.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, though.
You do.
He's like the anti-Vader at that point. Yeah.
Let's get in that Marvel crossover. Rhodey and Mace. Just carrying Mace with him like Superman used to carry Batman. He just drops them on people, just a swirling purple lightsaber cutting through stuff, and you see it's a person.
The black and the bold. That's a DC reference.
I like it.
It's a DC reference, but I'm good with it.
Nice.
I have my like Obi-Wan pitch and my Mandalorian pitch.
Give me both.
My Mandalorian pitch for something that they like a character we don't really know. So Galaxy's Edge, they just came out with the book a couple days ago, so this will be last week at this point. Black Spire, and it basically tells the story of how the Resistance found Batuu, which is the outpost that's at Disneyland. And there's a character named V, and she's a Resistance spy. But at this point, there kind of is no Resistance anymore.
Is she a butch girl with a gun?
No, you'll love this. She has a wig collection, and she is furious when scavengers take her wigs.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
She has a wig collection because she's a spy. Yes. So basically, in the book, now this could be like Kramer in Seinfeld, where he watched that movie, went and did his will, and then watched the rest of the movie. I haven't finished the book yet; it just came out. But she was a long time ago. She was captured, tortured by a general. Then later he defected, and now they're like reluctant road trip buddies going to this place. And I think that's a cool story that you could do with characters that they're not Skywalkers.
Armed only with lace fronts.
And wigs. She has one wig that she...
Lace fronts are wigs. We'll talk later.
But her wig, so they stole all her wigs, but she's like, luckily I pinned this one still on me, and it's a short blue bob that she has. I know. It's like the book I need to give to you.
Why has my mentions have failed me? I love all the corgis you send me. Why have you never sent me any mentions about the black girl who uses wigs as a weapon?
And then my like Obi-Wan pitch of like people know these characters. I don't know about you guys. I loved the N64 game Rogue Squadron.
Oh,
and
that was great.
Yeah.
I think
I never learned how to edge appropriately to AT-ATs, but that was very difficult to get the turn radius just right so that I didn't release the cable or crash into the legs.
Oh, and once you got it, it's like you did one wraparound. You're like, oh god, I don't know if I could do two more. So I think you do Rogue Squadron, and you have like you have Wedge as kind of your lead guy, but I think you tell it through the eyes of someone like Dak from Empire Strikes Back. This kid is like, I could take on the Empire by myself, and just like the adventures that Rogue Squadron did on the side while everyone else was doing. Like,
this will make or break it, and I'm not going to tell you which way.
Okay.
There's Porkins in it.
Porkins has to be. Well, no, he's dead. I don't know. It's Porkins maybe didn't die. Maybe it was like he got his Mace Windu robotic arms, and now he's Super Porkins.
What if he secretly had the Force and now he's a Force ghost?
No.
Porkins the
No. If he's a Force
Ryan
ghost,
is pitching a Force ghost Porkins.
No Porkins.
For those
No
of you-
Porkins.
If it's robot Porkins, maybe. And if it was full-blown Porkins, then yes. So.
Just the constant teasing of him in the academy for being.
But I think you make it like obviously not a Netflix series, but kind of like a Netflix series about like, hey, I was fat in school, all throughout the training academy. It's like, Porkins, you'll never be slim enough to fit into a cockpit. Never. And he's doing push-ups and stuff, this Paul Blart type exercises just to fit into the cockpit and get involved in the Resistance, and then we know eventually how it ends.
I think you make it like Top Gun. It's the Top Gun of Star Wars, and maybe
No.
Porkins is
It's the officer and the gentleman.
Just make it Greg Grunberg, because when he showed up, I was like, oh, I finally got that hot Porkins I've always been looking for. We get Thotty Porkins. That's what I always wanted.
That's his canon first name is Thotty Porkins from Jakku.
They're never going to let me host the show again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right. Any other Star Wars ideas?
Yeah, I think that was pretty good.
That's pretty good. All right. So what we're going to do right now is what I like to call the call out. Oh, I'm going to put on my sexy voice for this. Hold on. Call out. Make sure you like and subscribe There's great stuff on Fandom.com. There's the Screen Junkie Show, where we've got Dan talking about the summer movie review of 2019. Dan. That ding sounded so much more ominous.
Oh, myself, Gray Drake, and Jacqueline Coley and Hal. If you haven't seen it yet, it is since it's Labor Day, it's the official end of the summer movie season. We'll be talking about how we picked at the beginning of the year as far as the box office goes, and recapping the summer that was, and revealing the results of our box office contest. It was very close. It's all awesome.
Ooh. Also, I'm really excited to talk about this. So we're going to start using SJU to provide a spotlight to some charities and nonprofits that are doing really, really great work. Every month, we will be highlighting a different organization, and we wanted to start with a group we've been lucky enough to meet a few times, and Dan's going to walk us through this.
Yeah, well, September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, and we wanted to spotlight first an organization, as you mentioned, Danielle, we've worked with a couple times at Comic-Con that deals with a part of our population that is unfortunately at a very high risk of this, and also just in general that I'm personally very passionate about. It's called Stack Up. It is an organization that brings veterans and civilians together through video games, through a shared love of video games. They serve U.S. and allied service members and veterans who are both in active service and have come home. And they have 4 main programs. One of them is called Supply Crates. That is where they send video game care packages with the latest games and gear to service members that are deployed, to veteran groups that are serving here in the U.S., to individual veterans that can use assistance reconnecting to their military family through gaming. Gaming is something that, full disclosure, I share my life with a military veteran, and I'm very proud of her service. And gaming is something that I've heard from her firsthand experience is something that both active military and veterans use as a community tool. Supply Crates help to combat PTSD and mental health by reinforcing the community aspect of gaming by helping so many veterans come back and have that feeling of isolation, and these Supply Crates help to provide that outlet. So that's one thing that they do. Mm-hmm. Another thing they do is called Air Assaults, where they take deserving veterans on all expense-paid trips to gaming and geek culture events, such as Penny Arcade Expo, Comic-Con, E3. We've been very lucky the last few years. That's a group that we got to meet at Comic-Con this year. We also got to meet them last year. It was amazing getting able to meet them. They're given the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals who share their experiences, as well as meet developers and personalities behind their favorite games and content. It was so great getting to meet these guys the last couple of years. I hope if we're down there next year that we get to meet them again. It's always really awesome to meet the group from Stack Up. There's also a program they do called the Stacks, which are their local volunteer teams who come together to act as a force for good within their communities. They host events and perform community service as representatives of Stack Up. And then finally, there's the Stack Up Overwatch program, the Stop Squad, which is trained and certified specifically to assist in crisis intervention, suicide prevention, and issues concerning mental health. They provide peer-to-peer mental health counseling and support for veterans and civilians 24/7 through the Stack Up Discord server, which that address is discord.gg/stackup.org is where you can find that. There's also stackup.org, which is their website, which you can visit to find more information and see how you can get involved. I think this is a great program. I've dealt with Dave at Stack Up for a couple years now, and Joe's also been dealing with him and been coordinating with him. It is a really amazing organization, and it's veteran outreach and veteran issues are something that I am growing increasingly also personally passionate about, as I said, because Mara is a military veteran, and through her experiences and hearing about the VA system, which is deeply flawed, and the fact that unfortunately there are many veterans among the homeless population. That's a crisis that we have here in LA. I think it's great. The organizations like Stack Up do such great work, and I'm very happy that we can support them here on Fandom and Screen Junkies.
Hard same. Also, full disclosure, so I come from a huge military family. My stepdad was military. I grew up on military bases, and he is a veteran, and so this is something that means a huge amount to me. And so now he also spends his time volunteering for different organizations that help out vets. And when I told him about Stack Up, he was super psyched about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited. If you want more info, there will be more info down in the description below. Go find out more about them and see about all the good stuff that they do.
Stackup.org.
Thank you for bringing that to us, Dan.
Yes.
So yeah, once a month we're going to be highlighting people and doing really good things so that you can check them out and get more information. Our next story, we're going to get into them fan questions. Bow, 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 bow. Sarah Q. Ooh, no, I like that.
That's
a good.
It's Labor Day. You can half-ass it.
That is what Labor Day is all about, baby. I have to point at Ed every time I do that.
I'm at my fantasy draft right now. So, yeah, that's what Labor Day is. That's what it's all about.
I am recovering from my birthday. Elevator pitched the biopic of someone else here at the table. Who is in the starring cast? Who directs? What genre is it? What's the budget? How would it fare critically, commercially, etc.? Go wild. Someone else go first.
Okay, I'll go first because it's the worst has to go first, so this is the worst. But it's the best because it's about Dan Murrell.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay. First of all, we got Jesse Eisenberg playing Dan, and we got to grizzle him up a little bit. But he could play Dan as a young kid all the way up through the grizzling as a grown person.
The grizzling.
You're not very grizzled, but I'm saying,
Like
you're not like a
Walk it back in. Walk it back.
You're not a little kid anymore, Dan. Jesus.
I just talked about how tired I was of Star Wars. I'm grizzled.
Yeah. I mean,
From young and hopeful to just shitty, full of disdain.
I think they'll have the tapes double to Jesse's face in order to make this beautiful beard Dan has.
He's already got the shaved head for Luther. We know he'll do it.
Dude, exactly. So I think he'd commit to the bit of, but it'd be the first time he was able to play like a likable person that is very dedicated to a certain thing. And I think he could pull that off. Dedicated to debate, dedicated to movie knowledge and film and stuff, and how hard it must have been for Dan and his young life to be so astute at such a young age. Probably we could manufacture some tragedy, or not some tragedy, but some little stuff for him to overcome. And I think Lord and Miller should do it though, because it has a nice little patina of comedy over the whole thing. Because I don't think Jesse Eisenberg. I think if you give him a too serious a director, it goes off the rails. I think we saw that, and Batman versus Superman. I think as somebody who's serious, he rebels against that. But somebody like Fincher, who can have a whole bunch of takes. He does well in that, and I think when they let him, Night Moves is a great Jesse Eisenberg performance, understated direction. So, yeah, I'd want Jordan Miller to produce it and just some workman from TV to direct it. Give a nice TV director their big shot to do this story, which is mostly interiors. It's mostly interiors. What? I love
boring life. I don't know how the movie's
I love Dan so much, and I can't believe you guys.
I also
love
like.
this bitch.
No, I think it's great, but I also think that you definitely have to add those moments where you're just at home training hard, learning trivia
I
questions.
think Jesse Eisenberg's older than I am too.
Probably.
So do I look that old that somebody older than me has to play young me?
No, I just think that Jesse Eisenberg still
I
looks
know I
like a
haven't
baby.
shaved. My beard's going gray, but
Well, we're trying to cast stars. Jason Statham has a sister 25 years younger than him in the new Hobbs and
The
Shaw.
amount of backhanded slaps in the last 5 minutes has just been...
Sarah Q, you have torn this panel apart.
I mean, it's pretty much a bottle episode. Dan doesn't do anything.
I mean, that's true. See, I'm going to go the opposite, and I'll pitch mine. I'm the Billy Business biopic, but it's like a Rocket Man situation. It's a fantasy biopic from Taika Waititi, and you go to space, man. I feel like you thrive in space. Of course, we have to cast David Harbour because that's like the Patrick Stewart as Professor X casting.
Right.
If anyone else is cast, it's wrong. But yeah, man, it's like your story, but like a space opera.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Like you, and you're like some galactic overlords pooping their pants.
It's just not a Billy movie if someone's not pooping somewhere.
A lot of
a lot of poop, yeah.
You're in charge of these galactic conferences where you're in charge of fostering all these space celebrities and getting where they need to be, and then one of them goes rogue and you have to find them and chase them down.
Nice.
And then you work for a company that goes out of business.
A handful,
business.
few of them, but it's a story of survival and endurance.
In my career, I've been the cousin Oliver of so many companies.
Just chuckle along at the end and just ruin it.
Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, we're going out of business
This is
here.
the second show in a row with the cousin Oliver reference. We made it a Friday show too. Weird how the universe
crazy.
works sometimes. Yeah, David Harbour musical space fantasy Billy Business biopic.
Okay, you know
Sounds
what?
good.
It'd be like a kind of what am I trying to think of that I can't think of?
Oh, with Ben Stiller, when he imagined all those things.
A little Walter Mitty, but not quite. No, what's the one that the Ready Player One guy that thought it was Buckaroo Banzai type deal.
Yeah.
Good. All right, I'm going to go next. I'm doing the Ed Greer story.
Ooh.
So it's going to star Anthony Anderson.
I think it's all so far.
Well,
The sad thing is, I thought the same thing. I was like, I can't say that.
I can. So I'm taking the bullet.
Wait, are we talking big head, hard out here for a pimp? Anthony Anderson,
we're talking
or
blackish
the
Anthony.
new blackish,
We're talking
slim
blackish
one?
Anthony Anderson.
Oh well,
We're talking hang time, Anthony Anderson.
He's the only actor who's gonna have to put
TNBC.
on old weight to play this. This is his Raging Bull. All right, okay.
And so this is going to be, so normally there are so many stereotypical like comedians trying to make it in LA, and comedy is so hard, and it's so hard being a comic. Love Life, womp. There are so many of those. And so this would be a movie that is about that, but also the character knows it's about that because they are writing their own version of that pilot, because every time they're trying to pitch something, everyone just keeps saying, well, can't you just write about being a comic because that's what sells? And so while you're writing it, you are also acting it out and also like breaking the fourth wall and being like, what, like, oh, now we do this trope, now we do that trope. And I think that you get in a Kenya Burris because he's someone who both works very well with Anthony Anderson, but also does very well with Meta, as we've seen on Blackish. And I think that that is my pitch.
Yeah, I kind of like it. And I don't have any kids or any lame stuff like Anthony Anderson has in those things. I could just be about me.
Yeah, no,
it's great, and my girlfriend, and like, yeah, I do find myself knowing the meta of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like right now, I feel like I'm talking too much. You know what I mean?
Well,
you know what I mean? It's so removed from everything, so that's nice.
And what's great is that the executives do keep trying to pitch you on things that you will have that will be corporate sponsorships that can help do the movie. And guess what that is, baby? Just a lot of Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, the Mountain Dew people. Yeah, the Mountain Dew come to me in a deep throat sort of in a parking lot fashion. They come to me half in shadow, like the cigarette smoking man, but it's the Mountain Dew drinking man. It just slurps some Code Red from the darkness as I make this deal with the devil. Oh yeah, I love this.
Follow the dew.
Can I ask you one question and one question only? Do you do the do? Are you extreme enough to join our brand?
Surge is the key to all of this.
Oh man, yeah, I love that. I love that. My Faustian struggle against the Mountain Dew lobby. That'd be pretty cool subplot.
So I think yours has to be a musical.
Yeah.
I agree.
It has to be.
yeah.
I think you just have to randomly break out in song at certain points. I think for this one, I'm gonna do. You guys ever see? There's a lot of movies that do this, but like Palindromes or Imaginarium of Doctor. I think different people play you throughout the movie.
I'm not there situation.
Yeah, I think different people. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson plays adult you.
Clearly.
She would love that.
She's fighting hard for the role right now.
Look, be a part of being an actor is that you get to be everybody.
Right.
A tree.
But I think and then I think it's directed by Julie Taymor, so I feel like it's your most ideal version of your life played out to the ultimate extremes.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Before we went on camera, he pitched Lizzo, and I was like, yes, you are correct. All right.
I feel like the little sister from Shazam should play you as a child.
Oh,
She has a very Danielle quality about her. Just a very
Naive and stupid.
No. She knew more almost than everybody when you think about it. Like she knew the game, but she had that face of like, this like very charming, like kind of like ethereal quality that I think that would be a good for like Danielle as a child.
Oh, everyone's being real nice to me. Well done, Sara. Make them all love me right after my birthday party. All right. Next, we're going to go to the next question. This is going to be a super quickie, and then we're going to go to a really fun game I'm super excited for. Kevin Pearson asked, I recently watched The Killing from my favorite director, Stanley Kubrick, and was pleasantly surprised how great it was because it's never brought up when talking about the greatest films in his legacy. What is an underrated movie you think that people should check out from a big-name director? He mentions Zodiac from David Fincher. For me, I love James Cameron's Strange Days. It's something that I feel like a lot of people haven't. Strange is the one with Angela Bassett.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes place where it's like, it's the end of the 90s and about to get into the new millennium, and a cop finds a tape where a hooker is killed and future stuff.
Right. And the tape is actually a memory, a downloadable memory, so the person knows that the crime actually took place.
Which is crazy because it was like, came out in 1995. They
Is it a
really
literal
thought we
tape?
were going to be very...
Is it a VHS tape that he finds in the eve of 2000? Because that would make me happy.
Well, you just have to have a big-ass head.
Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow, yep.
Oh, sorry, Catherine Bigelow, and James Cameron was the writer.
And producer, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I like that movie. And there is no peak Angela Bassett. Part of her 30-year peak was in that movie, though. You know, she was kicking ass. She's beautiful. She's commanding. She's the person who knows what's going on in the whole story.
She's very action-y.
Right.
Maybe that's why I like it so much, because it's more of like an action Bassett.
Right. And we hadn't seen her be action Bassett, since like Critters or something. So yeah, action Bassett. I'm down with action Bassett.
I'll go with Sidney Lumet is one of my favorite directors, and he did Network, 12 Angry Men. He's got a lot of movies. This was one of his later films called Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, which is very difficult to find, or at least was for a while, with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Rosemary Harris is in it.
Tomei in that one?
What's that?
Was Marissa Tomei in that one?
Marissa Tomei is in that one.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
The cast is so incredible. It's about these two brothers who plan a heist, and it doesn't go very well. And it is what I think it's maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman's best performance in any movie. I love it so much, and it's just, I think because it was later in Sidney Lumet's career, it just kind of gets overlooked, and it's also one of those movies, like I said, that's not as accessible. Like I think it was on Blu-ray, but then it's out of print, or it was for a while. So it just never really wasn't a big Oscar award-winning movie or even nominated film widely, and it's so good. It is so good, and that's I think when people talk about Sidney Lumet's best films, they always talk about Dog Day Afternoon and 12 Angry Men and Network, which are all amazing films, but I put this up there with Sidney Lumet's best work. So yeah, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, if you can grab it, watch it. It's great.
Yeah, and it's a modern tragedy too.
It is.
It's such a tragedy, and every time something bad happens to the characters, you're just falling down this well with them. You don't feel like you're watching anybody at all. It seems like, oh man, I'm in this jam. That's how you feel when you're watching half the movie. So. Yeah, it's a real tragedy.
Alrighty, fellas.
Well, I'm a big Steven Soderbergh fan. I like a lot of the stuff he does. He's had a lot of like big ones, Ocean's 11 and Out of Sight, Aaron Brockovich, all these big ones. But one that I feel like no one really talks about, and it kind of came and went. It's actually the origin story of whatever's plaguing JTE. It's called Contagion from 2011. It's actually that's JT on the far right. No, but it's actually like a really it's an updated kind of version of Outbreak. I think it's a little bit more, but it's like for Soderbergh especially, it's like a really dark, really intense thriller that I wasn't. It's not what I'm used to from him. But some amazing teeth acting by was it Jude Law or Paul Bettany? One of the two, I don't know.
Jude Law.
They're interchangeable. There's some amazing teeth acting, but overall, like that's one that I'm like, oh, no one ever talks about that when they talk about Soderbergh.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got one Soderbergh one. I got one from My Filmmaker. I really feel like Soderbergh doesn't get enough respect for The Limey either. Mm-hmm. The Limey is amazing, and they use footage from an older movie that he did when he was Terrence Stamp. That is, Terrence Stamp played a similar role in a movie called Sad Cow or something a long time ago, and they bought that whole movie in order for him to use a couple snippets to do a de-aging without spending computer money.
Right.
Computer love. love. You know, yeah. They didn't want to spend all that money, so they couldn't at that time. Anyway, that's a great story, and it's about like just this British dude coming into a Hollywood gang that doesn't know how to handle a real hard man. Like, he's a real hard man. And they're just like, they haven't seen one. They're out in L.A. They're about here with this punk gangsters. And when he comes with this real stuff, we don't even have guns. We're going to beat your ass. Like, brass knuckle style. I'll hit you with a sock full of nickels. That type of gangsterism, they're not ready for it at all. So it's like Buck Rogers. He's just such a caveman. He smacks them up. Or like Demolition Man. You know what I mean? I love that movie, and that's by Steven Soderbergh. Also, the person suggests Zodiac from David Fincher, but I would very much argue that there's another movie more overlooked in David Fincher's oeuvre, and that is The Game. People, right after Seven, The Game comes out, and it just seems to be washed away. I think it had a bad release or something of that nature, but The Game is incredible. Michael Douglas at what I think at the peak of his powers. He has the gravitas of an older man, but still that young guy's insouciance with some of his lines. And he's a billionaire jerk who gets a gift of an experiential game. And as he gets deeper and deeper into the game, he realizes that maybe people are trying to jack his whole fortune. He's like a billionaire, so people might be using this game to basically hack him. Like, he kind of gets captured. There's a capture situation where he's basically, it feels like they're trying to take his whole livelihood from him, and he can't trust anybody. And it's about how isolated rich people or anybody can be when you depend on other people for your reality. Once people start betraying the reality, what's real and what isn't. And it's just incredible. It's shot well. It's written well. It's written by the same people who wrote The Net. It's like The Net on limitless pills is what The Game is. And I don't think people get how significant that movie was because Fincher's been doing little bits and bobs from it forevermore.
Yeah.
So The Game is excellent.
That's a great pick. All right. Story number 3. I have been psyched about this the entire show. Dan would like to premiere a brand new game for y'all that we have been playing on our own in the office for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Dan, take it away.
Who says Flickbait's dead?
Exactly. Who says Flickbait will never come back? Yes, we've been doing this in the office, and I want to say right up front, this is not about making fun of anyone.
No.
This is literally about this weird, unregulated economy that we discovered a few days ago. You probably heard about it. We're old. We just found out about it. There's this thing on the internet called Cameo. And you basically, the way that it works is that personalities, YouTube stars, actors, athletes, you name it, they're on there, and you can pay them a designated amount of money, and then they'll record like a video greeting for you, like on their phone or whatever. And then people use it as like birthday gifts and stuff. And yeah, it's not like us like sneering at this and like, oh, it's literally
make your money, please.
Make your money. Yeah, we have friends that are on Cameo. It's not about making fun of Cameo, but we were doing this in the office, and it's the thing that's fascinating about this is finding these celebrities and then being like, what value do they put? Or does someone put on a minute or 2 minutes of their time? What do they believe is the money amount that is appropriate for them to record a video greeting, a personalized video greeting to somebody? And so what I have done is I went on Cameo and I spent way too long. I have enough for like 3 different times to play.
And we're going to do them in 3 different episodes, y'all. Do not worry.
10. So the way that this is going to work is we will name and show you a celebrity, and then we're going to do Price is Right rules. So you're each going to name how much money you think they're charging for a cameo, for a video greeting, and then whoever gets closest without going over will get a point, and then at the end of the game, we'll see who's the best at guessing the cameo. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And our first person
I'm moving my computer
to guess,
over
so you can't see. Yeah, thank you. So I can put this on the table.
Yeah.
The first person that we're going to guess is a legend. He's had many stages of his career. He's an Oscar nominee. Mr. Gary Busey. Gary Busey is available on Cameo.
I just love the slow fade.
Gary Busey, you can send Gary Busey money, and he will record a personalized video greeting for you on Cameo.
Okay.
How much does Gary Busey charge for a cameo?
I'm saying 150.
Danielle says 150. Okay.
I'm saying $199.99.
Billy says $199.99. Ed?
$89.95.
Ed says $89.95.
That's the most Busey shit too. That's probably some random ass dollar amount.
Well, it turns out that you all are throwing bargain basement prices because the actual number is, let's reveal it, $350. $350 for Gary Busey, but that means Billy, you were the closest without going over. So Billy, you make the first point.
Man, love yourself, Gary Busey.
For $350, Gary Busey will record a video greeting for you on Cameo. Okay, this is the star of a super mega worldwide franchise, or a star of a super mega worldwide franchise. One of the more recent additions to the service, and has been in the news recently for reconnecting with a former co-star, Draco Malfoy. Tom Felton. Tom Felton is available on Cameo.
Also was on Arrow for a second.
Also on Arrow. I shouldn't. Yeah, he's done many things. He's in the first Apes movie, but Draco Malfoy, I think, is supposed to be recognised. How much to get a personalized video greeting from Tom Felton on Cameo?
$75.
Danielle says $75.
I'm going $499.99.
Billy says $499.99. Ed.
$512.
$512. Well, Danielle, you were way under, but everybody else was way over because $333 is.
Oh, that's a steal.
You get less than Busey.
I also think that that's a little fun thing where he's like, I could put 666, but I'll half it because I think that's funny.
So Danielle, even though you were way under, you were the closest without going over. So $333 for Tom Felton. Okay, this guy's a legend. He's been in so many. We were just talking about James Cameron. James Cameron filmography alone. He is a huge figure, particularly from the 80s, but also distinguished himself through many other films. Tombstone, one of my favorites. Mr. Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn, Kyle Reese, Aliens, as I mentioned, Tombstone, so many great movies. How much for Michael Biehn to send you your own Michael Beaning?
To get beaned.
How much to get Michael Biehn?
$100.
Danielle says $100 for Michael Biehn.
I'm going to guess that he thinks he's worth more than maybe most people would, so I'm going to say $199.
$199 for Billy.
$201.33.
Oh, jerk.
$201.33.
Jerk move.
Well, we are playing Price is Right rules, so we're going, bang. The buzzer is sounding because you've all overbid. So now, everyone, you've all overbid, so we have to have a second round of bidding.
Okay. And what was your?
Danielle said 100,
so
Billy said 199, Ed said 201.33.
I'm going to say 50.
Danielle says $50, okay?
I'm going to say 70.
Billy says $70.
I'm saying 69. Nice.
Ed says $69. By $1, Billy takes it. $85. $85. I would pay $85.
That's not bad. To have Kyle Reese leave you a birthday message or something. Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's 2 points to Billy, 1 to Danielle. Ed, you're still looking to get on the board.
I wanted that Hicks. I wanted one from Hicks. He's just asleep.
This is a big name in the musical world, particularly at the turn of the century. We've mentioned him on the show many times before. Let me see that thong, the thong. Cisco is on Cameo. How much for a personal greeting from Cisco?
Okay, he definitely will not charge anything under $175.
Danielle says $175 for Cisco. Okay.
I'm gonna say 99.
$99 for Billy. Ed.
Son of a bee. All right. 260.
Ed says 260. If this were Price is Right, full Price is Right rules, I would be handing Billy a $100 bill right now because he got within $1 because Cisco charges $100 for
that sounds
Cameo.
That sounds about right.
Billy, you've taken a commanding lead, 3 points. Do you think your experience working the conventions has helped because you've been in this world?
It's potentially I know what some of these people think they're worth.
Yes.
That is unfair advantage. You got HGH over there.
He didn't know any of these before. This is somebody that I don't think Billy's probably worked with. We're going to the world of reality TV. I put this on in the background a lot when I want to just write something or whatever. From the show Pawn Stars, Chum Lee.
Yes.
Chumlee from Pawn Stars. Are you all familiar with Chumlee from Pawn
Yes.
Stars? Okay.
That's all I need to see.
He works in a Las Vegas pawn shop.
Okay.
And people bring in their items to sell, and he's not the main. He doesn't own it, but he works there.
Okay.
Chumlee from Pawn Stars. What does he charge for a personalized video greeting?
I'm giving him a smooth $35.
Danielle says $35.
I'm going to say $29.99.
Billy says $29.99. Ed.
Strategy, baby.
I got $34.
Ed says $34. Ed. You should have gone 36 because Danielle wins at $65.
Oh, wow.
$65.
Damn.
Which again, for $20 more, you could have Michael Biehn. This is
You
what
could get
is-
beamed for
this is
20 more
what-
bucks.
This is what fascinates me about it. It's the comparative thing of just like Chumlee 65, Michael Biehn 85.
Right.
What is this? There's no like exchange
Well,
rate on
Gary
this.
Busey thinks he's worth 4 times more than Michael Biehn,
should.
which could,
Right.
which is I would tend to agree with that. He was in Bulletproof, the first Bulletproof.
So there you go. All right, we're halfway through. At the halfway point, Billy's got 3 points. Danielle has 2 points. Ed,
I don't know
gotta
this.
gain some ground here.
I don't
man.
know this economy, Dan.
Nobody knows this economy.
That's the game.
Okay, this is a sitcom star. We're going to go back to the 90s. One of my favorite TV sidekicks of all time, Al Borland from Home Improvement.
Oh.
Richard Karn.
Now, are you asking what he's worth or what I would pay? Because
What is the market
does he-
value on Cameo for Richard Karn?
What does he think he can charge?
There's no button for $5 billion.
Right.
Okay.
What would Richard Karn charge, or does he charge for a personalized video greeting? Family Feud host, by the way, for many, many years. I think directly preceding
Yeah.
Steve Harvey.
I think 10 years ago it would have been 200. I think now he probably charges, let's call it 112.
$112 from Danielle. Billy.
Join 99.
$99. Billy. Ed.
$200 flat. He's still the man to me. I'm looking over the fence at him, and
Ed, you should have gone $1 because the buzzer's sounding. You've all overbid.
That breaks my heart.
The lowest bid was $99, so it cannot be any more than $99.
Okay, then I will go, oh, this is going to hurt. I'm going to go $25.
Danielle says 25.
I'm going to say 45.
Billy says 45. Ed,
I'm gonna say $30.
$30. Ed, you should have gone high. Billy takes it. It's the actual retail price is $80. $80 for Richard Karn.
But look at what you could do for yourself.
What-
It's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
for you.
I'm going to go pay $80 after we're done here. And that will be my voicemail.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim. Leave a message.
All right. This is a fascinating one. This man needs no introduction. Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
Charlie Sheen. Get the tiger blood ready.
How much is an 8-ball?
I don't know the market value for that either. We're in a lot of economies that I don't really know. Charlie Sheen will record a personalized video greeting for you on Cameo, but how much is that going to set you back? How many chicken dinners, winner chicken dinners, winner Sheen dinner is this going to set you back?
I'm going to say 200.
Danielle says $200 for Charlie Sheen.
Because that feels like that's enough for like a good 20, 25 minutes with a chick.
All right.
I'm going to say
Brutal.
Does he owe you money or something? This is very personal.
Danielle's trying to get money back for Charlie Sheen.
That's how much he owes you exactly. I'm going to say 149.
Billy says $149. Ed?
$500.
Ed says $500. Ed, you went high. But you didn't go too high because
Oh
the
my
actual retail
God.
price is $550.
God.
Ed is on the board. If you want to win, you got to make a run, but you're starting that run now, Ed. $550.
I feel like I just beat
Charlie
Shoots in Vision
Sheen.
Quest. This is awesome.
That's an insane.
But I knew he had an inflated sense of self, and I knew it's only amount of money that would get him out of bed.
That's
in the morning.
200 times. That's $200 more than Busey. That's 5.5 Cisco's.
I could get Cisco to do a full concert on my phone
Get a
for the
Cisco
price of
set
one
list for
Sheen
one
call.
Charlie.
What is the Cisco to Sheen conversion?
Now we know it's 5.5 to 1. Oh man! All right. Now this goes to my heart because it goes back to Nickelodeon in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
This is an actor named Michael Bauer, but you probably know him perhaps better as Donkey Lips. And so, from Salute Your Shorts.
Oh wow!
I love Salute Your Shorts. I love Nickelodeon.
I have both seasons memorized.
You have both seasons memorized.
Michael was great.
Hey Dude.
Pinsky was better.
He was on Wonder Years. He was
yeah. Michael Bauer from Salute Your Shorts and other television shows. What is the market rate for a Michael Bauer cameo?
This is gonna hurt my heart, but I'm gonna say 25.
Danielle says $25.
I'm gonna say 19.
Billy says $19.
I'm gonna say $17.27.
That says $17.27. Well, the good news is that the winning bid was low. Danielle, you are the winner because $30.
Oh, okay.
$30.
Nice.
So
Good.
you know,
Love yourself, Donkey Lips.
Ed, I don't want to. Well, you could still tie. If you run these next two, Ed, you could still tie, and Billy would win. Danielle, you still have a shot at winning the game if you can take these next two. Billy, if you take any of these next two ones, then you will have won the game.
All right.
It's 4 points to Billy, 3 to Danielle, 1 to Ed. There are 2 celebrities left. This man is a legend. I just watched him in the movie Cocoon, but he's probably known more from another big comedy hit and franchise in the 1980s.
Oh!
The Goot is Loose. Steve Guttenberg.
Also a very prominent figure in Veronica Mars season 2.
Oh, well, there you go. Steve Guttenberg. Charming man. I don't understand why people seem to kind of sneer at Steve Guttenberg a little bit, and I don't understand. He's
What?
very charming.
I mean,
That's the whole Simpsons. We made Steve Guttenberg a star.
I mean,
thing.
first of all, he invented the printing press, and then he stars in Police Academy. What
Yeah.
can't this guy
The
do?
lowest hanging scholar joke you've ever gone for.
What would it cost to get a personal greeting from Steve Guttenberg on Cameo? Danielle.
125.
Danielle says
Boomers would pay 125.
and $25.
Nice.
Took my number.
Billy?
I'm gonna bet against the Goot and go 120.
Billy says 120.
Whole game's riding on this baby.
And your quest for maybe tying for second, right? So just answer correct.
Yeah, I'm making it like that moment in The Natural. It's totally not. Oh God. It's a real white man can't jump moment right here. I'm gonna say $140.
$140. Ed,
Good answer.
you had to come through in the clutch here. You did not. However, another one of our players did. And I would be reaching back into my pocket for another, I think this would be $1,000 bill. Because Danielle, you nailed it.
Oh,
It is $125 exactly. I am so happy that it comes down to this. However, if we need a tiebreaker, I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to get my computer to get my master list because the score is tied 4 to Billy.
And again, to be fair, we have been playing this in the writer's room for the last 2 days.
4 to Billy, 4 to Danielle. Ed, thank you for playing. But I still want you to participate because you can play spoiler here.
Yeah. No, I'm just some geek off the street, guys.
I am so happy that it comes down to this.
Oh no.
Because now, when the heat is on, you have to decide which MFer is going to be ice skating uphill. Because you have to tell us
Oh no.
what a personalized cameo from Mr. Wesley Snipes from Blade himself costs.
Oh, he's got tax problems. He's not working a lot. Oh my God, there's so many factors here. I am going to say
Passenger 57.
$325.
Danielle says $325 for a personalized greeting, perhaps via Post-it note. Wesley Snipes. If Patton Oswalt is to be believed, he may write it on a Post-it note.
I'm going $375.
$375 from Billy Business. Ed Greer. What is your prediction?
420, bro.
$420. Ed, I said that you could play spoiler,
But you did not.
and you did. Because the answer is $500 for Wesley Snipes. So Ed, you have extended the game. Ryan, can you please bring me my computer because I've gotta. There are not going to be any. I need mine because I've got the list on mine. Luckily, I have 40 more of these.
In your office or in?
No, it's on the table there.
Damn it! I almost went high with that too. But I was like, I'm just gonna go high enough to beat you, but not to like
Go over.
At least 5 minutes.
We can go into like 20 times overtime, by the way. But Ed, you still and now Ed, you've revived your chances of winning. You have revived your chances of winning
There we go.
by
Thank you.
doing that clutch. I should not have said you're mathematically eliminated. I had no faith that you could get.
Damn
Wesley
it!
Snipes' value.
$4.99 was my original thought, and then you went so low that I was like, I can't.
I was trying to.
All right, hang on. Let me find the the master list here. I should have prepared a. You know what? I do have. I'm gonna have to show it to you on my computer, but I do have one graphic that I cut from this one. So this will just have to be shown to camera.
Okay.
But the new graphic, again, an action superstar and a legend of the 1980s.
I can get you that.
The future of cameo enforcement. How much for Peter Weller, the original and only RoboCop that I acknowledge?
Frank. What's his name? Frank.
That's Peter Weller.
Peter Weller.
Frank Weller's.
Peter Weller. Frank Welker. I think
yeah,
is,
whatever.
his prime. Peter Weller is on Cameo.
Okay.
How much for a personalized video greeting from the original and best RoboCop?
$175.
Danielle says $175. Don't look at the screen. Sorry. Danielle says $175 for Peter Weller.
$249.
Billy says $249 for Peter Weller.
$317.
Ed says $317, and the buzzer is sounding because you all overbid.
Okay,
damn.
All overbid.
What was the
The
lowest?
lowest bid was Danielle with $175.
Okay,
Aw.
I will amend it. I know, right? I will amend it to $75.
Danielle says $75.
99.
Billy says $99.
Wait, what was the previous lowest bid?
The previous lowest bid was $175. Danielle has bid
Okay.
$75. Billy has
$100.
bid $99.
Yeah, well, I think it's like 145, 150. 150. I'd say 150.
Ed says
I know it's important.
$150, and we have a winner by a margin of $1. Billy Business wins the game because Peter Weller will send you a personalized greeting for $100. Billy, in sudden
Son
death,
of a bee!
in sudden death overtime, that's fine. That's fine. My arm's getting tired.
Well done.
In sudden
Well
death,
done.
you win 5-4. Thank you for playing the first annual. Sure. Cameo, guess the cameo game. And again, again to reiterate, we are not making fun of these. This. It is just fascinating to me that Blade is worth 5 times RoboCop.
Wow,
That's
yeah.
like power levels.
It's like power
you
levels.
can't, the data
You
doesn't
can't-
care about your feelings.
Yeah. So there you go. That is the cameo game. Perhaps if you like it, if you enjoyed spending your Labor Day, we can. It's.
Yeah, if
We'll bring it
not,
back.
we will continue playing it in the office.
I will tease one. I'll tease one
Oh,
possibility for the next round. Let me see if I can tease a name
wish I
that would
would
be a real.
I feel like I have to come back
possibility.
and
And the
defend
thing,
my
that I
title.
really hate is Dead or Alive, the championship's going with Billy.
That's why they call me the businessman.
Oh, man. You would be the Dan Murrell of this game.
If we play again, then you can know the value of Warren G.
Oh.
That's hard because he's also got that Dr. Dre connection.
Or you can know the value of Tan Mom. So.
Nice. That's a nice tease.
Tan
Do
Mom.
not do that thing where you go in the comments and you tell us what
Yeah,
that is.
don't do. I shouldn't have said that because
Yeah.
now people are gonna. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't.
Preserve the integrity.
So many random
delete 'em.
things on Cameo that I feel like this could go on for a while.
please don't do that. And like, if we want to play the game, it should be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys. I
Play
had
it
a
at home with
really.
your friends,
Yeah.
by all means.
Please play it at home with your friends. Tell us what you thought. We have got so much going on. I'm so happy. This game made me so happy. So the review for It Chapter 2 will be out tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time before we are back at 11. Plus, Honest Trailers at 10 and a new Charting with Dan. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm the champ.